Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing? Welcome to 2020, ladies and gentlemen. It's your guy, DeMarcus Tunstall, here at the Beta Project. You can always find us on YouTube at Humble and Focus, all one word. Feel free to search that bar. You'll find us. Today is January 2nd, man. It's 1-2-2020. That's almost, I don't know. Anyways, today is the 2020 lie. And today is the road to success is through commitment. I'm going to bring you on, and we're going to have ourselves an amazing, awesome time. Here we go. Hey, how you doing? Good morning to you. It's your guy, DeMarcus. I brought something here I'm going to show you here in a second. But, yeah, today's 2020. If I would have came on yesterday, I'd be like, okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's January 1st. Time to get after it. All those New Year's resolutions that you put in place, you know, so you can be the best you can be. It happens now. All right. Woo! That's all I would have said yesterday. So I didn't need to say that because somebody else is probably saying that. You're probably calling your friends like, girl, we going to the gym every day, forever. And we going to get 6-packs and 8-packs and 12-packs and 42-packs and all the packs. We going to have muscles on top. We going to have all the girl. I'm telling you. Or you like, man, we about to make this money, dog. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff. I'm just saying, like, I know the conversations that happen. So now the question is, are you going to be the kind of person who sticks to it? Or are you going to let it go by the wayside? So that's what we're going to talk about today, because 2020 comes with this new vigor of life, because it's a whole, not even a new year. It's a new decade, ladies and gentlemen. It's a whole new decade. That means that everything's changing, right? Wrong. That's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about that 2020 lie. That lie that's been sitting in front of your face. They've been talking about 2020 is the year of vision because of your vision. And they're like, see what we did there? 20. So they're talking about all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's been marketed to death. But the problem is, ladies and gentlemen, they don't tell you the truth about 2020. I kind of put a post on about this yesterday. And what it said is this. Yeah, 2020's here. But it's going to take a whole lot of effort to get 2020 to be what you want to be. 2020 is not going to change anything if you're not willing to change it and commit to changing it and allow it to stay. Oh, let me show you my shirt, by the way. This is from Sarah. Thank you, Brinks. Hakuna Matata. Do-do-do. What a wonderful phrase. Do-do-do-do-do. Yeah, so that's how I feel this morning. It's Hakuna Matata. That means no worries for the rest of your days. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, so we're talking about that 2020 lie. So the lie that they told us is that things are going to change. What they didn't tell us is that it's going to take a complete commitment of everything that is you to go away. Now, what do I mean by that? I don't mean that you're not a great person, because I believe you're great. I believe you're amazing. I believe you're awesome. What it means is that 2020, if you're going to change something, you got to change it from the core. It's not just going to be something you can do on the surface. This is why they say 88% of people quit their New Year's resolutions before the beginning of March, because it's not mentally changing inside of them. It's not a internal change. It's a mental change. I want something different. I want to be something more, but it's not a change of permanence. That's why people can so easily go back to eating the same way after a diet or this, that, and the other, because there wasn't an internal change. So people who are vegan, one of the things I noticed about vegan people is that they don't eat meat. Did you know that? Yes, you did. And the thing is, to be vegan, you can't go back and keep eating meat when it's convenient. No, vegans don't eat meat. There's a commitment there. Now let me show you this again. The road to success is through commitment. So you got to commit to what you want, ladies and gentlemen. The success for 2020 is not in the saying that it's 2020 and you keep repeating the phrase, but it is in the aspect that you're putting the effort in and committing to it on a whole new level so you can start building your empire. Let me show you again. Building your empire. Woo! And what do I mean by your empire, ladies and gentlemen? See, for me, it means building something magical and mystical. I told you, $1 million is mine this year. Universe and me are going to work that out. It's not for me to figure it out, but to do the work, and the universe will bring everything to me. But I'm building my legacy, one, for the kids I don't have yet. Two, I'm building my legacy for the community around me, and I'm going to change the world somehow. You guys already know it. Julia, my gosh, she brought me to tears yesterday. I went to her job, and she was at the restaurant. I was in there, and I was getting food, and she broke me down, because she was talking about how she doesn't believe, she's met a lot of people in her life, and she sees so much in me. I mean, it was a powerful moment. But I appreciate that, because sometimes you forget. And sometimes you go back to your default believing you're not good enough. In all reality, you're so much better than you even realize. You just haven't gotten there yet. The world's been designed to beat us down and keep us complacent, not designed to make us big and make us strong, because it's easier to control someone who is following than it is to control someone who is leading and uprising in themselves and creating sparks in others. So you can now learn to build your empire. I love that, okay? So we're talking about that 2020 lie of 2010. 2020 is going to be the best year of your life. But if you're not willing and ready to commit to 2020 and to get out there and go after it, then 2020 is irrelevant. It's just a date. If you're not willing to change who you are on the inside to hold and harness what you want on the outside, then it's just going to be a surface change, and surface changes go everywhere. Have you ever noticed that gravel might be here one day and then all of a sudden it's over here another day and it's not as high? Erosion wore it down, right? But if you go down about a mile, you'll notice that that ground below isn't changing because it's down deep. It's there. It's where it's all together. It's not moving, but the surface will move. Leaves will go from here to there. Why? Because they're light. So don't let your dreams and your goals for 2020 be surface. They've got to be internal. That's where they've got to plant your roots. You've got to make it strong. You have to make it strong. If you ever seen a baby tree, it just kind of wobbles in the wind, right? But those roots aren't moving because they're steady and they're sturdy in the ground. So the 2020 lie, right? So let's go to my next one. Let's see here. I guess it's time for my alarm to go off. All right, so here's the next video right here. Oh, that's not the one. You cannot conquer what you are not committed to. I'm going to leave that on the screen for a second because that's a big one. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I had to go get my phone. It was going off. But look, you cannot conquer what you are not committed to. Ladies and gentlemen, you want to conquer your weight. Oh, you want to conquer your weight. You want to be so fit. You want to be so lovely. You want a six-pack. You want this. But you're not willing to put in the work in the gym. You're not willing to eat the right things to be that way. You're not willing to take away those bad habits that are putting the weight on you in the first place. So, ladies and gentlemen, your idea of wanting to lose weight becomes surface, and surface can be destroyed or easily removed by just the wind. Or you want a new relationship, but you're not willing to give up all the other men or women that you're sleeping with for a relationship before you get it. Oh, well, maybe, ladies and gentlemen, you actually didn't want a relationship in the first place. You just wanted what it looked like and what it felt like to you. Oh, you want more money, but you're not willing to look outside of a job. Instead, you go find another job and realize that you're losing time, and time is more relevant than money. And if you do it the correct way, then what happens is the time itself can create money for you, but you can't just keep throwing you can't keep throwing time at a problem and hoping it fixes it. Time is more value than any dollar that you can be put in your pocket. Time is your family. Time is fleeting. Money, ladies and gentlemen, I've learned that money can come from anywhere. You just got to find out where to get it. So, like, that's why I'm asking. That's what I'm saying. Not asking. That's why I'm telling you $1 million is coming to me this year, because time is important. The money will be there. So you cannot conquer what you are not committed to. So what you're not understanding, or what you may understand, is that if you're not willing to put it all in there and go all in there, then it's not going to survive anyway. A tree that has no roots will fall. It will die. It will wither, ladies and gentlemen. It's the roots that keep it solid. The roots are the commitment to this tree, that I will stand tall and I will nourish you and I will hold you steady. And it isn't until the ground underneath the roots gets shaken up that the tree can be removed. You could go outside and hit a tree, pretty well, hit it with the Kamehamehas or whatever. It's not going to fall. But you go down deep and you dig out the roots. You get to the root of it and you dig it out. Now the tree can be moved. Listen, your tree might be alcohol, drugs. It could be food. It could be women. It could be men. It could be love. It could be money. It could be education. It could be whatever you want to, ladies and gentlemen. Whatever you decide you want in life, whatever it is, you've got to go in and dig out the root and find out where the problem is, and you got to replace it with something new. So I got one more quote. Let me go this way. Here we go. One more quote. It's like, ladies and gentlemen, so we talked about the commitment, and we talked about the 2020 lie, meaning that it's just not going to happen. You've got to put that effort in. But the last part is sometimes you just got to let go and see what happens. Now, the reason I put this on here, and it's so important, is because, ladies and gentlemen, remember I talked about how you make a change and its surface compared to being underground? When you make that change, ladies and gentlemen, you got to be willing to let it go and not go back to seeing and being where that piece is. Now, I'm not talking about, if you let somebody go in a relationship and then don't go backwards, no. What I'm saying is this: if you're going to let something go and you're going to change something for the future to have or be something more, then you got to let go of what it was. You got to become more than what you were, which means you got to let go of past you and not revert back to past you. You can't do that. You can't allow that. Now, the cool thing is that it's easy to do if you're willing to do it. And what I mean is easy, it's easy to make a decision. It's a little harder to take action on a decision, but to hold on and stick to what you actually believe is true and what you actually want, ladies and gentlemen, that's where the time and the pain comes in. You can do anything you want to, ladies and gentlemen. You are strong. Remember, you can anything that you want, all you have to do is commit to it and go after it with action. If you could do that, ladies and gentlemen, then it's yours. But if you're not willing to give it all you got, if you're not willing to step forward and step up, then it's already designed to fail. So whatever in your life that you're not putting your whole heart into that you really want, ladies and gentlemen, it's destined to fail. And so that's why you got to go back and put that commitment on it. You got to make sure that the decisions that you're making at this current time are bringing you what you're asking for and nothing less. And when something less comes along, you got to be able to knock it, say, nope, that's not what I wanted, and let it go. Because the universe is going to test you. And it's going to say, well, let's see if he wants this. You want this, DeMarcus? You said you wanted a brand new computer, but what if I give you these instead? And you're like, oh, okay, I'll take that. Universe like, cool. I ain't got to worry about giving them anything else. But and I know that's a really poor example in this particular situation, but ladies and gentlemen, keep in mind that the universe is going to test you to see if you believe and see if you're about what you want. You actually want, let's say ladies out there, ladies, we talk all the time, ladies, you want a man, you want a good man, and you've got a man in mind that's yours. That's your man, right? That's your man. As soon as you start allowing other men to be inside of your bubble, and I'm not talking about sex, I'm talking about you start dating other men because you don't have the man you want, then ladies, you have completely and utterly eliminated the idea and the fact and the possibility for that man to arrive. You already saw him, you know who he is, but are you willing to put away what you don't want and not allow what you don't want to arrive to get what you do want? Or are you just gonna sit here and then you complain about the relationships that you have, but you don't realize that you don't have what? Let me take this off. You don't have what? You're not committed to it. You're committed to the idea of having a man, but you're not committed to finding the actual man that you want. Instead, you put up something just so you're not lonely. Ladies and gentlemen, it's okay to be alone. As a matter of fact, we lose so many things in our life because we don't want to be alone, especially relationships. We end up with a bad relationship with a whole bunch of kids, and the person didn't love us and they're cheating or doing all kinds of stuff. Why? Because you didn't want to be alone. And I'm not talking about just girls, I'm talking about guys too now. You didn't want to be alone, so you stepped forward and took anything. And you stayed in something you shouldn't have stayed in. Why? Because you didn't want to be alone. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you right now, when you get to be alone, you learn to love yourself. And when you learn to love yourself, then you can find something that's not trash. I'm going to put it that way. When you want a job and you say, yeah, I want a job that's going to pay me this amount of money, but then you find a job that pays you thousands of dollars less, then why would the universe give you anything else? You said you wanted a certain amount. The universe tested you because you got scared, like, oh my gosh, where's my money going to come from? I got to make a move. And then something comes up that's $10,000 less. And you know it's not going to work for you, but you do it anyway. These are the kind of decisions that we got to stay away from, ladies and gentlemen. If you want it wholeheartedly, you put your effort into it, and nothing else will allow. I've told you the story of my friend. She's married, got separated, sucked. And she said to me, she goes, look, I love this man. And I told him, and I told God that I was going to be here no matter what. That I said till death do us part, and I mean that. So she didn't want didn't want the situation, but he did. But she stayed faithful to understanding that this is the only thing that she will accept from this man. She won't accept any other men. It's not what it's about. This is not what she's here for. So by saying that, she actually starts to draw in exactly what she asked for. But if you're not willing to let go of the things that you don't want and continue to fight for the things that you do want and let things go just because you're lonely or you're sad or you're broken and whatever, ladies and gentlemen, all these different negative emotions, if you're not willing to let these go to allow yourself to bring in what you actually want, then you're going to end up in the same situation. Ladies and gentlemen, there's nothing worse than getting divorced. That hurts kids. There's nothing worse than breaking up a relationship. Why? Because that hurts you and maybe others. There's nothing worse than not getting the amount of money. Why? Because then you're broken, you're struggling, you're stressed, and that takes out on your family and your friends and all that other stuff. There's nothing worse than any, ladies and gentlemen, there's so much out there. And the thing is, we just settle. And so that's what the 2020 lie is about, ladies and gentlemen. It's about not settling for what you don't want. It's about being real with the commitment you're willing to make for yourself to go to the next level. Ladies and gentlemen, it is your choice. You made these New Year's resolutions, and I told you, I guarantee you they're selfish. I guarantee you they're about you, but it's okay. It's okay. We just got to get you there first, and then you can make commitments for others. But I guarantee you, ladies and gentlemen, that you've made these New Year's resolutions, and you don't even realize what it's going to take to get them. It's going to take a whole lot more than just going to the gym because you say you're going to go to the gym. That's why people lose it, because people get busy. The kids get sick. Things happen all the time, but you got to be willing to stay in it even when things are hard. If you want your marriage to work, ladies and gentlemen, you don't think a marriage is going to be hard? Oh yeah, it's going to be super hard, but you got to be willing to stay in it and put the work in for something that you desire. And that's all I got for you, ladies and gentlemen. It's about time you let go of the lie. And I'm going to show you this one more time. You cannot conquer anything you're not committed to. You cannot have anything that you're not willing to put it all into. You're going to have a shadow of it if you're willing to allow something that you're not really, it's kind of like it, so I'll take it. No, ladies and gentlemen, it's time we commit. It's time we let go of that lie of 2020 just because it's a new decade and just because it rhymes, or I mean not rhymes, but just because it repeats 2020. Just because it's marketed, just because it's marketed doesn't mean it's going to happen. It's up to us to step out and to become the best version of ourselves. And the best version of ourselves will attract what we are meant to have. And that's all I have for you, ladies and gentlemen. Let that lie go. It's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of internal change. Don't worry about that service. Let that go. Remember, I believe and I love in each and every single one of you, ladies and gentlemen. I love you. I swear to you, I do. And I wish the best for you in this 2020. And I'm looking forward to building with some of you. Some of you, unfortunately, is going to have to get let go. Not because I don't love you, but because I realize that also there's a lot of weight that comes with trying to make people act right. But guess what? There's only one person I can control. And he's on this video, and I'm looking at him right now. It's this guy. And the same thing goes with you. You can only control yourself. You can't control what your spouse does. You can't control what your boss does. You can't control what your friend does. You can't control what your kids do. But you can control you and how you react to it, and realize that maybe things aren't going the way you're supposed to go because you're not where you're supposed to be. But I'm going to leave that alone because that's another day. But I believe and I love in each and every single one of you, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful phrase. Hey, have a great New Year, ladies and gentlemen. Go out and kill it. It's ours. But don't let that lie stop you. It's time to go. Talk to you tomorrow.